Hello again. We are here for our second session of the Python Coding Dojo. Our YouTube channel, still on our MVP experiment, but still already going strong. Cool. Just a couple words about myself. So I'm Gus Garcia, as you know, and it's written on the screen. And I have been around in IT space for a few decades. And I've been a developer. I'm also a Scrum Master, and I think this is the same way that very smart people, smarter than myself, have told before. This is coding and software and how to code. It's crucial to our times, and we should actually get better at it, and make it really a professional and really a very sustainable and clear profession. What I'm trying to do with the Python Clean Coding Dojo is exactly that, is actually show a way to make code clean, and just the same way a writer would actually write a book. An author would actually, J.K. Rowling, just imagine if she wrote the Harry Potter series in a very lame way, or something that you couldn't understand it, she wouldn't be a billionaire by now. So the same way a writer does it, we should, as programmers and developers, we should actually take care of our code and write it as if you're writing a book. It has to be clean to be read and to be understood, and then to expand, and then to fix bugs and all those sort of things. Cool. That's it for the introduction. And now let's go back to our session 1, shall we? Right. We have here our code from session 1. From session 0. Now it's session 1. And we ended up actually doing this. And I got some feedback, actually quite good feedback. And there is one thing here that people actually didn't like, was the having keys and values as capital letters here. So the reason I put it there is just because I follow the convention in the PEP 8 Python enhancement proposals, and that's all. It guides you through the style guide of Python. So that's the reason I use these as constants. I know from the real world you wouldn't be reading keys and values out of constants, but just for the sake of this little exercise here, I'm making them constants here. Of course, you'll be reading this from database or some other data source from the internet or something. But for just for the sake of this exercise, we're gonna do that, right? So bear with me, and we'll get better at this. Right, so we ended up doing this. Let's see again. So let's see again what we have. So Python first session 1, and run it. Yep, we have a dictionary there with keys and values there. Right, so how do we make this then reusable? We can use this script, which is fine, but we want to make that unit of code as much as reusable as possible, as well as testable as possible. How do you isolate? That's the key word. Isolate those lines of code so they become something, a unit. We can test it, we can modify without actually touching anything else. Well, one of the ways, and solution is quite simple, we're gonna create here a little function. Oops, wrong key. There you go. So how do you define a function in Python? So define, and let's call it, of course, create dictionary, and I'll be receiving keys and values. Let me move this. So as you know, in Python you use indentation to specify a block of code. That's what we have here and now. And standards, you have spaces and not tabs, and you have 4 spaces here. So if you run any tool, I'm going to run the tool after this. you see that they complain if you have something different than that, which is fine. So we live by standards, and in this case it's good standards actually.